Biceps 101. Breaking it down, real simple, stupid for you guys. When you come in and you want to train biceps, do some lighter sets to get started. You're going to get the blood and the oxygen into the muscle so you can cause the pump, get the biceps all warmed up and ready to go. When you start training biceps, you want to go mass exercises first. Correct form, you're fresh. So you want to do exercises like your Olympic bar curls. You want to go with a neutral grip to start off with. When it comes to your grip, when training biceps, whenever you have a neutral grip, you're working both heads of your bicep brachii, the entire width of the bicep head. That's going to be your mass. Heavy weight, less reps, but you can go more sets with a bit more rest time and keep the weight as heavy as possible, but never sacrifice form. Neutral grip, you're going to go straight down, elongated, and then you're going to curl up with your knuckles going towards your front deltoid. That's the motion. Neutral grip, Olympic bar to start off with, mass. Greatest mass exercise for your biceps. Curl, and then isolate at the top. Once your knuckles just about at your deltoids, you want to isolate that and then lower the weight. Eccentric portion of the exercise. Lower on a 5 to 10 second count. The longer you lower it, the more time that the strain is on the muscle, and the muscle fibers, they're not used to that. That's going to cause the growth. It's going to break down the tears, and you need to do that first in your exercise because you're fresh. Maximum strength. At the end of your workout, you want to do some shape exercises, meaning you're going to drop the weight and you do more reps. Less weight, more reps. That's going to work on that cut factor, shaping the muscle, and really just bringing out all the definition as opposed to going for straight mass exercises, which you want to do at the start of your workout. Whenever you're lifting biceps, just like any other muscle group, form is imperative. You've got to lock it in, and you can only go as heavy as you can with correct form. If you're doing dumbbell curls, barbell curls, and you're using momentum, rocking your hips, which you see a lot of people do in the gym, that is not causing the extra reps on your bicep, not causing the extra growth that you're looking for. All that is doing is using your momentum in your hips to do the extra work, and you're not hitting the bicep. So it's really redundant. Basically what you want to do is you want to drop the weight till you're comfortable in a fixed position where your entire core is locked in. You can have your elbows close to your sides by your hips, and it's just complete curling motion. Go all the way down and curl all the way up. Quite often you see some people have a gap in the bicep head from their elbow. So it's kind of like a real smaller peak as opposed to full range of motion. Basically what they're doing there is they're only going to halfway, 3/4 of the way down, and so that lower part of their bicep isn't being worked out. Go all the way, full range of motion, full range of growth. Breaking down, your bicep muscle, you've got the bicep brachii. You've got your longer head, which is your outside head of your bicep. Then you've got your shorter head of the brachii, and that's on the inside of your bicep. Then you've got your brachialis muscles, and they sit on just outside above your elbow, and there's small muscles outside the brachii. Whenever you're working them out, if you want to work out your longer head, your outside head of the bicep, you want your hands to come closer in on the bar, or closer in on the rope, or whatever apparatus you're using at that time. Whenever you're coming in closer, it's locking in that form, so when you come up, it's totally hitting the outside head. Whenever you have your grip placement outside shoulder width, as if you would maybe on a cable pulleys, and you're bringing in 2 cable pulleys, and you're just curling, that's going to work the shorter head, the inside head of your bicep. Having that knowledge of knowing what part of the bicep you're working enables you to plan your workout so you hit every single aspect. Not only are you hitting the mass exercises at the start, where you're doing like a preacher curl, or Olympic bar curls, or heavy dumbbell hammer curls, or just straight up curls, neutral. Basically once you've hit that, then you can go onto your outer head. Once you've hit that, then you go onto your inner head. And then you've got your angles. Angles are very imperative when it comes to training biceps. You can do concentration curls, where you're going from a low to a high curl. You can get on the cables, have a bar or a single cable pulley up above, and you're lying down. You're hitting an angle from a high to a low. So you're going from a low to high, then to a high to low. Bicep doesn't know what's coming, it's heavy, it needs to react, doesn't know what to do, it's going to break down the muscle fibers, all those micro tears in the bicep, then it's got to repair itself, get stronger, get bigger. That's the results that you need, and that's what you do with any other muscle group, but when it comes to biceps, you're going to be very creative. Another really important tip for growth in your biceps is to work your back. Not only is your back, a major muscle group, and you get that natural hormone, released, but the secondary muscle group you're working out the entire time is your biceps. Whether you're doing chins, you're doing rows, all of that, bringing that bicep into play, it's always going to be doing that because you're bending at the elbow, and that's going to take some effect. So the more you lift back, the more love that the biceps are going to get. When it comes to isolation exercises that you want to incorporate into your bicep routine, you're going to work them to work the peak of the bicep. The peak of the bicep is going to come down to when you do like an easy bar curl, and you're really going to isolate the top of the bicep head. And you've also got cable pulleys, you can work on a side angle, and you can pinch in like that, hold it, isolate it. That's working the peak of the bicep, that mountaintop effect. If you want the growth for your biceps, you've got to go eccentric and isometric. Meaning isometric, you're holding the weight in place. That muscle is contracted the entire time, and in the eccentric portion, lowering the weight. That is imperative for the growth. I don't care how many of these you do as fast as you can, even if you're Ron Burgundy and you're doing 1,000 of them, you're not going to get the growth if you're getting heavy as possible with correct technique and lowering the weight. 5 to 10 to 15 seconds. The longer that, the burn is under and the strain of that muscle with that heavy weight, that's the heat of transformation. That's where you're going to get the growth. Always mix up your workouts when it comes to biceps. How do you know to do that? Record what you're doing. You come in here, you're doing a dumbbell curl, then you're doing a rope curl, you're doing a preacher curl. Write it all down, so then in your next bicep workout, you know what you did, and you can vary it and do different exercises to cause growth in your biceps. Because what you do today for your biceps, you may do 6 to 8 exercises that they aren't used to. You're hitting them with maybe a different speed of the rep, or heavier weight, or more reps, less weight. That's going to cause the growth. But then the next time, if you do the same thing, you aren't going to get the same results. Always mix it up. Variation is key, and to know how to vary it, you have to know what you've done. So write it all down, and then come up with another plan of action for your next routine. Some more tips with your biceps. You want to avoid cheating, and you want to be seated. You're going to be seated down on like an incline, and it's really going to lock in because your elbows haven't got anywhere to move, and you can't cheat. I know when you get to the end of the set and you want to get extra reps, then sometimes you can start bringing your body into it, and you want to avoid that. Whenever you feel yourself doing that, just drop the weight. No egos in here. All about growth. Isolate, correct technique. Go seated, you can avoid that. Another big factor you can use to get the growth in your biceps is to try and get a bar that's as thick as possible. When you get an Olympic bar, because it's so thick, it's all encompassing. Meaning when you're gripping it, it's hitting every single side of your muscle fiber for that heavy mass lift. You can also get like fat grips and put them on any kind of bar, and it's going to increase that thickness. That's a great way to start your routine, to go heavy, and to get the mass that you're after. Right guys, hope you enjoy these tips, incorporate them into your workout. I'm Tim, thanks for watching.